Hey ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Avorion, episode number 7. So, for those of you who skipped the previous episode, which was a build log, I'm going to very quickly start this episode off by explaining what exactly have we done with our ship, and how does it change the way that we do things. Apart from that, today I am finally, and I promise, I'm going to finally get to the DLC mission. That's one of the things we're going to be doing, but there's a couple of things we have to check off on our, well, checklist before we do that. But, anyway. So, welcome to the new and improved, the Indecisive. You'll notice, first and foremost, that the ship has become more, biggin', and let me try to explain exactly what happened. So, it started off with a fairly unremarkable change that I had a problem that we had our exhaust of the engine seemingly go into the hull itself. So, we actually changed the design of the engine itself by providing the exhaust to be kind of towards the side a little bit. This is, of course, only a graphical change. It doesn't actually impact any of the game mechanics for it, but it still looks better, so I like it. Apart from that, we also moved some of our docking points towards the bottom, but the biggest change is in fact the well, sheer simplicity that the ship is in fact twice as large now, but at the same time, it's also twice as maneuverable. So yes, the back and forward do hold actual thrusters, so the ship is going to be a little bit more easier to navigate with. That being said, I also have decided that the overall design of the ship is going to be following that of a futuristic firearm, basically, where the ship itself is going to be elongated, and the new things that we add to it are going to be added towards the top or the bottom, and thus growing the ship vertically instead of horizontally. But that's really it for that. In terms of systems, we didn't really, get anything new here, but that's it. The only thing that we'll have to very quickly address before we actually go to the mission is the fact that we currently are sitting at 22,000 credits, and if we very, very quickly go and find our repair dock, and we go to try and do the thing, you'll notice that it actually costs 120,000 credits to actually, restore the ship. So before we go to that mission, the one thing I want to do is continue exploring until we get this sum of money, so that in the unlikely but very much, fact that we are going to lose the ship, I can actually rebuild it. That being said, there is nothing much else to add. We have gone up to almost 8,500, well, more than 8,500 hull. We have a firepower of 223, something that we also want to, at some point get better. But that's about it. So I think what's going to happen now is I'm going to take my time to kind of explore these systems over here, and once I've done that, then I will start heading my way up over here towards the new opportunities mission, and I think that'll be just fine. So the one thing that I have stopped doing is in fact using my drone to scout out these systems. I'll be instead using my ship from now on, because it is in fact sturdy enough that if I get into a fight, I can actually escape. So that's just something to keep in mind. But yeah, really I'm just going to explore a little bit, grab some of these containers, some of these claimable asteroids, and once that is done, we are going to head towards the mission waypoint. I'm not going to, show you every single part of this, but basically what I'm doing now is just I'm trying to get at least 150,000 credits, and then I can in fact proceed with my plan. Now, the one thing that I was considering doing, by the way, and this kind of goes back to our previous agreement that during the Let's Play itself, I'm going to be assigning new kind of, you know, limitations or the removal of them, depending on our situation. And the one thing that I kind of was thinking about is, considering one of the ideas is to actually start making my own, you know, factories and stuff. For example, instead of selling these asteroids, I would actually try to build my own stuff with them. One of the ideas was to, in fact, create a kind of like an exploratory ship. So this main ship, the Indecisive, the ship itself, would not be able to leave this nation until I have 100% explored every single place, like every single, you know, marked and unmarked system, well, sector, within its zone of influence. That would be the, you know, artificial, you know, pacing of the game. But at the same time, I would say that sending simple two-system exploratory ships just for the sake of finding loot and claiming asteroids and getting money towards the center of the system without, you know, actually passing through the barrier, but actually going as far as the barrier before the Indecisive even gets to leave this place, is a good way to get the required credits and stuff for the ship itself, because depending on how, like, what we find over there, it's not like I can instantly use those weapons that I pick up on this thing. And that in by itself might be a limiting factor, that I cannot use, you know, say, neonite weapons until I get, you know, 2 neonite. But again, that is just a idea. I will probably make a vote on it, if you guys think that's a good idea. But with that in mind, let's go back to the game. Okay, this is kind of interesting. So we just came across one of the, you know, junk systems, and I think I might as well just pop Jerry down here for a while after I actually obtain all the credits. Because this is actually one of the places where Jerry can in fact just sit and chill for a while. As you can see, I already started telling it to, you know, move towards this place. So that is something to keep in mind. Now, I kind of want to very quickly take a look at the wrecks themselves, because, I mean, to be fair, usually these systems are mostly for the benefit of finding systems rather than resources. And that's probably a very good attitude, because by the looks of things, these ships don't have any interesting components. Actually, you can kind of see the holes where their titanium components were. Yeah. So this is just going to be for the sake of getting stuff. So let's take a look over here. Scrapyard. Salvaging license is 30 minutes is, I mean, 20,000 for 60 minutes is perfectly fine. I'm actually just going to grab it right now. And at that point in time, Jerry can just go there and start salvaging once he does the do. As for us, though, we are just going to keep on trucking. Go away, this is our asteroid. Well, I guess you can then keep it. I'm not really interested in that asteroid. Not yet. Wait. I think they attacked only if I got very close to them, I think. The one thing I haven't noticed right now, or rather, the one thing that I have, in fact, noticed, is the fact that there's not really been a lot of smuggler stashes. which is kind of strange, really. That's a claimable asteroid. We'll get to that in just a minute. Haha, 69k away. Oh, this is nice. So, this place actually has an equipment dock, and one of the things they are selling is a military control bypass system. A green one, so I'm just going to very quickly grab that. It is going to set us back a little bit, but that being said, repair dock, we have more than enough money to reconstruct the ship if something bad happens. So I'm not really worried about that right now. Like, I think at this point we are past that moment in particular. Yes, one more turret. But hey, one more turret is still on. I've only had I actually had one more turret. Do I want to waste money on that? Is the real question here. I'm kind of thinking maybe I should actually just swap all of my chain guns out for bolters. Oh, that's actually a very good DPS. Yeah, you know what? I'ma just grab that. I'ma just yoink that. And place it somewhere here. Yep, and there we go. And just like that, our firepower has gone up by something. You know what? I just realized they missed an amazing opportunity to educate people by, instead of naming the different elements after minerals and their, you know, semi-scarcity, because, you know, some of these are fictional, they should have named it after, like, prehistoric time eras. And so when someone is kind of, you know, confused about the whole, you know, the sequence of, you know, the time scales, they can just think back to this game and it's like, ah, yes. They should have done that. But alas, they did not. Oh, look at this. So, I'm just entering our home sector, by the way, on my way through the mission, and we have 3 green military control systems. Sadly, we are slowly losing all the money that I was going to actually, you know, say, oh, we are doing this to XD, right? To rebuild the ship. But there are a few unexplored systems along the way, so perhaps it's not that bad. Very good. Oh, also, subspace system signals. That's going to end well. And there is, in fact, the alien group. Well, let's take this baby out for a spin. And let's try to actually get to it before the friendlies do. Well, that was quick. Sadly. Also, we don't have a gunner. So let's actually fix that. Okay, so I somehow ended up being right back where I started from in terms of credits. So let's keep exploring before we actually go to that mission. And then I'm like, nah, it's gonna take way too long. So I think instead what we're going to do is 160,000. Boop. 500,000 credits. See? Much better. I think that was a much better idea, he said and almost flew into a rock. Okay, let's go and actually get to that mission now. Okay, note to self, we have found ourselves a turret factory. I'm kind of wondering if we should probably start taking advantage of those a little bit more. But we will just have to wait and see. Okay, so we have reached that point where we have to get off the grid, so to speak, and start making our way towards the mission with jumps. Now, the way that I see how it should be done is, you know, through one of these systems. I don't want to go tackle one of the yellow ones just yet, so I'm just going to go for the green ones. And hopefully we're not going to lose the ship by the time we actually get there. So... ah yes, it's one of those moments where there is nothing here. I'm pressing tab. Thank you, by the way, whoever told me that, hey, if you ever want to know whether or not you are in an empty sector or not, just use tab. And, yeah, tab is not working. One more jump. And we are going to go into the New Opportunities mission waypoint. Now, the thing is, again, I made doubly sure this time to not go and see the Wikipedia. I don't want to spoil it for myself, so I don't know what the quest line is. Even the fact that, you know, I built this ship up a little bit before doing it is maybe completely unnecessary. But it's one of those moments where it's like, hey, you know, better safe than sorry. So, there is in fact the secured container with a security level of 3 and a tech level of 4. Now, how did that actually translate to the thing that I'm using? Security level 3. And silent hacking of 1. So, again, my prediction is that as soon as I start hacking this thing, since I'm not doing it, quote, silently, it's probably going to alert some sort of enemies or something. So that is my immediate thought on the subject. Yeah, I'm gonna quickly grab this asteroid. Oh. Ah, yes, it is in fact a claimable asteroid. Do you think that's the only container there? One way to find out. It's already giving me the interact thing, which is good, I guess. But I'm going to very quickly just fly past all of these other ones and see if any one of them actually light up. They're color is not the same as the usual one, so I guess this field was specifically designed for this. Any unauthorized access will result in an alarm and your termination. Inspect. This container has top-notch security protocols. It probably contains some valuable contents. Normal access is impossible, but maybe it can be hacked with the right upgrades. Hint, hint. Okay, so I guess I'll just sit quite close to it, just, you know, to grab anything that might fall out. Hacking. Unauthorized access detected. Emergency signal has been sent out. Oh dear. Ah! I was right. Well, thankfully these guys are pushovers. Or perhaps the ship that I've created is actually a little bit too strong for this. Don't ram me, please. That'd be rude. Hacking terminated out of range. I'm starting to think I probably need to keep myself within its distance, because otherwise these things are probably going to keep spawning indefinitely. Yeah, let's quickly kill this dude and get back into range. Am I really still out of range? Okay, maybe I should not kill this thing just for the sake of what would happen if I killed it and it just spawns a new wave. Four minutes of hacking. Oh, screw that. I want to grab some of these items that fell out before they despawn. The game is actually quite brutal with its despawning mechanics. You would think that there's no rush in picking up things in space, but apparently the devs and I are not in fact smoking the same thing. You know what? Just for the sake of simplicity, let's actually kill this thing. I was going to check if I can dock it and then kind of carry it around while hacking it, but apparently that is not in fact a choice. Okay, I'm way outside of the range for this thing. Okay, in other words, I'm not even mad that I spent so much time building the Indecisive up. Oh, jeez Christ. Please no spawn other enemies. Please? Good. Oh, did that just reduce the timer? Oh. Gained one mysterious package. Okay. So what did that dude say? I think she said something about them contacting me that you can't open. Dude, if it's stuck, give me a blowtorch. It can't, it can't be closed if it's liquid. Yeah, okay, so this has been, a little bit less interesting than I thought it would be, but, yeah, it feels like I just went to a party dressed in a suit. Ah, new mail. I've heard you were successful. Meet me in sector... Oh. Okay, I guess let's go through this sector then, since it's along the way. Actually, it's 21 minutes in. 29 minutes in. Let's very quickly take a look at what is inside of this sector. You know, along the way, so to speak. Ready to get insta-killed in 3, 2, 1. Actually, the sector is loading so long, so I think it's one of those systems. The ones full of, you know, stuff. Oh, wow. In that laggy system, can you imagine how annoying it would be to, you know, fight the spawned enemies? Yeah, it's definitely one of those systems. Look at that load time. And by the way, I'm running, oh dear. Go away, we are waiting for a friend. You don't have to tell me twice. So, just out of curiosity, can we detect something here? I was gonna pass over this thing diagonally. This place doesn't have anything. So I'll just keep on trucking towards the new opportunities mission. So yeah, my first impressions about the system itself. I would say it's interesting enough. Are they coming at me? No. Doesn't look like it. But yeah. Okay, maybe I was a little bit too harsh. I can certainly like the fact that it's there. As far as storylines go, it is one step above the introduction to DMing the party meets at a pub sort of thing. And the fact that I can't just nick the package is kind of disappointing, but... Linear quests in a game where you can be... Okay, so here's the thing. If you are playing a game where being an asshole is a complete choice... Cheers! I'll take my package now. Are you accessing my inventory? Of course! How did the hacking go for you? Wasn't easy, some pirates showed up. That was a piece of cake. I thought you might be the right one for the job. I'm quite pleased with the results, so I might make use of you in the future. Make use of me. What if I don't want to help you anymore? Shush, don't be silly. You're gonna keep the hacking tool. I've got several of them. Here's your reward. I'll be in touch. 50,000. Okay, hacker man. Well, Oh, hello. The Cavaliers. From Izzy. Cheers, I need you to do something for me. I've had a little misunderstanding with a syndicate that call themselves the Cavaliers. They claim they want to rid the galaxy of pirates and Xotan, but I think they're just really, like, fighting. It's completely possible. Like, dude, if I had a big-ass spaceship with lots of guns, I would find any excuse to use it. I may have taken something from them, and now they feel like they need to hunt me down. To make them leave me alone, I would return what I took, but I can't go anywhere near them, and I certainly won't meet them. And I certainly will meet them with the envoy they sent. They want to meet me in a Sector X, go there and talk to them for me, and convince them to get off my back, and I'll reward you for it. Izzy. I've seen what people do to envoys in the Syndicate. You know, any Syndicate. Oh wow, that's a lot of... Okay, emergency call, emergency call, emergency call, emergency call, emergency call. Oh. They're towards the edge of the galaxy, actually. That's interesting. Alright, ladies and gentle boys, I think we're just going to very quickly repair this thing, and, let's actually take a look. What did we get? Okay, so from here we got ourselves a, armed or unarmed turret slots, because of course we got that. That is nothing new for me. As for inventory, though... Bolter turret. Nothing above the 34... Like, the highest one currently that we can see here is a 34.7 DPS. All of this is iron, by the way. The mining turrets are obviously going to be useful for us, eventually. But, I mean... Okay, so here's my problem with this. If I would have just made a beeline towards the edge of the not the edge, but the center of the galaxy and just kept on opening containers, I would have gotten much better stuff. Although, the fact that I haven't seen too many of these, you know, secret stashes could actually be the indication that this is something that the devs actually know, and they have kind of, you know, acknowledged it by removing many of them and replacing it with those kind of treasure systems. So, So if this is a replacement to kind of bring down the progression speed, I will actually say that I like that. If, in fact, that's the case. If it's not, then, well, you know. Anyway, ladies and gents, thanks for joining. And I'll see you the next time.